Hello, students. This is Mrs. Pancoke. I'm ready to teach you Lesson 9, Formatting a Research Paper. This lesson begins on page 166 in your textbook. And if you observe our lesson skill matrix, we're going to be creating citations, adding captions, inserting footnotes and endnotes, creating a table of contents, inserting a cover page, creating and modifying headers and footers, and creating bookmarks. So we're going to be using the reference tab a lot for this lesson. And on the first step-by-step, format a research paper, we're going to open up our First Ladies document out of our data files. So navigate to your data files and find the First Ladies document. Gonna close out of that. Okay. So, step 2 on page 167, position the insertion point at the beginning of the document. You can press Control Home or just click at the beginning, and it says to press the Enter key twice to create blank lines. Then place the insertion point at the beginning of the first blank line, and we're going to type our heading text or our basic identification information, which includes the writer's first and last name, the teacher or professor, class, and the date. Whenever you see those XXs, go ahead and type in 2016. Then it says to select the entire document. So the easiest and quickest way to select the entire document is to press and hold down Control plus the A key. So Control A, and we're going to change the font style to Arial. And on step 4, it says to also change the font size to 12. Okay, then we're going to, on step 6 or 5, change the margins to 1 inch. So click on margins. We're going to change them from narrow to normal. And we're going to change our spacing. So you can go to line spacing here, or you can click the paragraph launcher. And we're going to change our line spacing to double spaced. All right. Then it says to select the entire document except for the title and the 4 identification lines you added earlier. And we're going to apply a first line indent. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to basically select from introduction on down. I don't want to select this title, which is right here. Select all of this going down. We're going to apply a first line indent. So click on the paragraph launcher, go to special, first line. We're going to change that first line indent to 0.5 inches. So under the heading Women in Politics, which I need to scroll on up here, Women in Politics is right here. And we're going to place the insertion point in that second paragraph, which would be this one right here, where it starts as such, or sorry, actually, the nation has always, which is right here. And then it ends with in the background. So this is my second paragraph. It says to adjust the left indent to 1 inch and remove the first line indent. So I'm going to click on the paragraph launcher. I'm going to change this left margin to 1 inch. And I'm going to get rid of the special first line indent. And then go ahead and click OK. All right. So this is a quotation, and that's why we're changing this to be indented by 1 inch. says to position the insertion point anywhere within the line, the evolution or evolving role of the First Lady, and we're going to center it. So that would be this one. We're just going to click right there and then click the center button. That was for step 8. Now it says to select each of the headings below and in turn apply heading 1 style to them and make the headings bold. The heading 1 style keeps keeps the titles left aligned. So I'm going to go through and select all of these with my mouse. So highlight introduction. I'm going to hold down the control key while I select each of these. Okay. Let go to move your mouse down. Then press control before I click. See, control, and select. And lastly, conclusion right here. So I should have conclusion highlighted, power of First Ladies, role of First Ladies, history of First Ladies, women in politics, and introduction. Okay, and I'm going to click on this heading 1 style right here. Okay, so there we have it. Those should all be highlighted. Oops, I forgot one step though. I needed to bold them. So let's just highlight them one more quick time here. Okay, I want to click on the bold button. All right. It says to go ahead and save the document as research on First Ladies. And to save this, I want to save, go to my Word folder. I'm going to make a Lesson 9 folder by clicking on the new folder button, and I want to save this as, double click in that folder. I want to save it as research on First Ladies, and then I'll hit save. It says to pause and leave the document open to use in the next exercise. Okay, so take note, we are going to be working with citations, sources, works cited pages, and bibliographies in this next section. A citation is a note specifying the source of information. A source includes all of the information about where a specific element from your paper comes from, so the reader can find the original work. A works cited is a list. List is a collection of sources that you place at the end of a document. And a works cited page is sometimes referred to as a bibliography. Okay. So we're going to create citations. On the References tab, we're going to click References. In the Citations and Bibliography group, we're going to click the Style drop-down arrow. Okay, notice that there are all kinds of different styles for citations. Okay, and we're going to change the value to MLA 7th edition. So click on MLA 7th edition. Under the heading, I should say MLA and probably APA are the two most popular types of citations. So most likely if you're working on a paper, you're going to be using either one of these two choices. So make sure it's set to MLA 7th edition, and it says under the heading Women in Politics, so I need to scroll up. It says to position the insertion point at the end of the second paragraph after ... in the background, but before the period. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit here just so you guys can see this. So I want to click right at the end of the D right here, but before the period. Okay. And I'm going to click the Insert Citation button, and we're going to click on Add New Source. Then this Create Source dialog box appears. The Create Source dialog box contains fields for the source information, including the author, title, year of copyright, city where publisher is located, and publisher's name. Click the Show All Bibliography field. Okay, and more options should appear. The type of source menu displays as book by default. You can click the drop-down arrow to change the type of source. The fields in the dialog box will automatically be adjusted depending on your source type. So we're going to type the source information that is shown below. So we want it to be set to book. For the author, we're going to type Mayo Edith Maringolo Denise E. Title, First Ladies, Political Role and Public Image. Year, and you can hit the tab key, 1990, tab, Washington, state or province is DC, District of Columbia, then publisher, Smithsonian Institute. Which the Smithsonian Institute, if you've never been there, has a collection of all types of First Lady memorabilia. So that's probably why that is the source. Once you have typed in all of the information, notice that recommended fields are all highlighted here as well. We can go ahead and click OK. And you can notice that the citation was added right here in our text in the parentheses. This is the style of in-text citations for an MLA format. So next, we're going to, under the heading, History of First Ladies, we're going to click to position the insertion point at the end of the second sentence, following the word speech, but before the period. So go to the History of First Ladies, and we're going to find the second sentence right here where it says speech. Click in between the word speech and the period. So I'm going to click the Insert Citation button. Once again, we're going to click Add New Source. And we're going to type the source information for MLA style in the dialog box as shown. So go ahead and change it to book and add in your source information. Hitting the tab to move. Oops, too many times. 2000. Publisher. Okay, once you have that typed, go ahead and click OK. And then we need to save the document as, in our Lesson 9 folder, Research on First Ladies 2. Save. So notice that my insertion point now has that style of MLA citations. Okay, we're going to scroll on down to the next step-by-step, modifying a citation and a source. So it says use the same document that's open at the end of the second paragraph in the Women in Politics, which is this one right here, the second end of the second paragraph. Click on the first citation you inserted, and we're going to click the drop down arrow to see a menu. Okay, once we do that, there are some different options here, but what we're ultimately going to click on is Edit Source. And then in the year, we're going to change this year to 1994. And then click OK. If this box shows up, the source exists in your master list, and do you want to update both lists? We're going to click Yes. So our citation is still selected. We're going to click the drop down arrow again. I'm on step 6 right here. And this time select Edit Citation. The Edit Citation dialog box appears. There's my mouse. And enables you to add page numbers specifying the exact location in the source to which you are referring. Okay, you can also make decisions about what to display within the citation text by selecting the Suppress checkbox. You can suppress the author year or title. In the Suppress section, we're going to click on Author and then click OK. So the author's name is replaced with the title. Under the heading Role of First Ladies, number 8, position the insertion point at the end of the second paragraph after the words Mayo and Marangolo added and before the period. Okay, so down here. So it says position it after the words right here before the period. So at the end of this paragraph, click right there to insert your citation or your insertion point. Now in the citations and bibliography group, we're going to click Insert Citation one more time. The menu lists the 2 sources that you have added. This is your current list. Select Mayo, Edith, Marangolo, Denise D. From your list. And your citation is added. Click the citation, and we're going to click the drop down arrow again. Okay, and this time we're going to click on Edit Citation. Okay, in the Add section, we're going to type 8 for the page box. And in the Suppress section, we're going to select Author and Title checkboxes. And we're going to click OK. All right, so now you should just see this page number for your source. Okay, so we're going to save this document as Research on First Ladies 3 in your Lesson 9 folder. Okay, so we saved our document as Research on First Ladies 3, And now it says under the heading Women in Politics. Okay, so we're going back up to this one. It says click the citation you created earlier. That would be this one, and we're going to click the drop down arrow and click on Edit Citation. We're going to clear the checkbox for author, and we're going to click OK. Okay. Normally, when you do a citation, you do want the author's last name in there, so that's why we're clearing this. Says to select the citation you created in the Role of First Ladies section, which is down here. Okay, that's that little one right here. Click the drop down arrow. We're going to click on Edit Citation, and we're going to go ahead and clear the author and the title checkbox and click OK. Okay, so under the heading History of First Ladies, gotta scroll up. Okay, it says to place the insertion point at the end of the paragraph after Shakers, but before the period. So I'm going to put my insertion point right there, and we're going to click the Insert Citation button, and we're going to then select Add a New Placeholder. Okay, and in the placeholder name box, spaces are not permitted. So we're going to type research underscore source. Okay, research source. Okay, and then click OK. And then that will pop up right there. Let's see. All right, so once we have inserted the research source and you clicked OK, we're going to go ahead and save this document as Research on First Ladies 4 in our Lesson 9 folder. Pause, leave the document open to use in the next exercise. Now we're going to manage sources. So, number 1 on page 172 says, on the Reference tab, in the Citations and Bibliography group, we're going to click on Manage Sources button. The Manage Sources dialog box appears. And in the Master List section, we're going to select Anthony Source. And over here, we're going to click Edit. Okay. And then we want to select the Show All Bibliography Fields. And we're going to type NY for the state or province. And then click OK to close the edit. And it says Word displays a prompt asking if we want to update the master list and current document. We're going to click yes. And then it says we're going to click close on the source manager. And we're going to go to Save As, and we're going to save this document as Research on First Ladies 5. Okay, so next is removing a citation. So under Histories of First Ladies, we're going to position the insertion point after Anthony in the second sentence. Okay, and click the Citation Placeholder tab to select the entire citation, and we're going to press Delete on our keyboard to remove the citation. We actually have to click on this little blue tab right here, then press Delete. Okay. Step 4 says open the Source Manager dialog box manage sources. Notice that the source is still in both lists. When you are done, close the dialog box. So even though we deleted it out of our document, it didn't actually delete it from our list of sources, which is fine. We're going to leave that as is. Click close. Okay, and then it says to click the undo button and our citation reappears. Then we're going to save this document as Research on First Ladies 6. Hit save. Pause and leave the Word document open to use on the next page. Now we're going to insert a works cited page. So I'm going to press Control N on my keyboard to go to the end of the document. And then we're going to press Control Enter to insert a page break. Notice I have my Show Hide buttons on, which enables me to be able to see my page break. It says to press the backspace key to remove the first line indent. So I'm going to hit the backspace key to remove that first line indent. And then on the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group, we're going to click the Bibliography button. And it gives you a menu here of different types of bibliographies. I'm going to click on Works Cited. This is the style that you would use for a MLA style report. And it says to save the document as Research on First Ladies 7. Okay, leave the document open for your next exercise. I'm on page 174, and my step-by-step is update a works cited page. So under the heading Role of First Ladies, I need to scroll up. Here we are. Position the insertion point in the first paragraph at the beginning of the 5th sentence after the word Guten, which is right here. Okay. Let's see. 5th sentence. I'm going to turn off my Show Hide button for just a minute so I can see the sentences. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it's right there. The beginning after the word Guten, we're going to press Insert Citation. So we got to go to References, Insert Citation. And we're going to click on Add New Source. We're going to click on Show All Bibliography Fields, and our source type, as it shows right here on step 4, is a book. So I'm going to type in the author, Myra Guten, title, The President's Partner, the First Lady in the Okay, and the year is 1989, tab, Westport, tab, Connecticut. Publisher is Greenwood Press. Okay, page 175, step 5, we're going to click OK. Okay, my citation should appear in the text. It then says to scroll down to the Works Cited page and click anywhere in the bibliography. So I'm just going to click inside of it, and then I'm going to click on the placeholder tab so that I can see this up here, okay? And I'm going to click on this Update Citations and Bibliography button right here in my document. Okay, and it will add that new source. I'm going to click File, Save As, go to my Lesson 9 folder, and I want to save this as Research on First Ladies 8. Hit Save. Okay, next we're going to be deleting a works cited page. So, it says to click anywhere in the bibliography to display the placeholder tab. So if it's not on, I just click inside my bibliography or my works cited page, and then I'm going to click on this tab. These three buttons up here are the tab, or three dots. And I'm going to press the delete key on my keyboard. Okay. The bibliography is deleted. Okay. If I click the undo button, it'll show back up. Okay. And we're going to save this document as Research on First Ladies 9. Save. Okay. Next, we're going to work with tables of authorities. Okay, a table